Alright, so we've entered here into the Darkfall Cave. Let's try this now this time. I made a hard save, just in case. Aha! Here we go. Just straight down, and then, of course, this is the guy we're supposed to encounter and be like, oh my goodness, who is this?
Come forward. You have nothing to fear here.
I can feel some kind of power from it.
Hello there. The Shrine of Ariel. The Blessing of Ariel, which is... I actually forget what this one is. Got a lot of blessings right now for my gear, so it's a little hard to see which one this is. Gonna have to scroll through these until I find whatever this blessing actually is, because oh, here it is. More effective with missile weapons, of course. Knight Paladin.
I am Knight Paladin Gelabor. Welcome to the great chantry of Auriel.
This cave is a temple to Ariel?
Auriel, Auriel, Alkosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves.
Snow Elves? So you're a farmer?
I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed.
I imagine that you know why we're here.
Of course. You're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance.
What type of assistance?
I need you to kill Archcurate Vertha, my brother.
Your brother? Why?
The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow this to happen.
What exactly did the Betrayed do?
They swept into the chantry without warning, and began killing everyone without pause.
Sorry. Kind of wiping something off my desk here, and it happens to be near the microphone. Sorry about that. Did you fight back?
It was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone and stormed the inner sanctum where I believe they corrupted Vertha.
You don't even know if he's alive?
He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting.
Have you tried getting into the inner sanctum?
Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight Paladin of Auriel, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death.
Way shrine?
Yes, let me show you.
This is snow elf magic. Incredible.
This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Auriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin at the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had to lug around a heavy pitcher of water. Marvelous. How long would they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the Archcurate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? Makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. We need to do all that nonsense to get into the temples so we can kill your brother and claim Ariel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the Initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment.
How many more way shrines are there?
There are 5 in total, spread far apart across the Chantry.
These caves must be massive.
Caves? Oh no. The Chantry encompasses far more than a few caves, as you'll soon discover. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the Initiate's Ewer.
So I need to fill this at each way shrine?
Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened.
I'll be off then.
This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, what I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey.
Alright. Oh, I don't have to draw it here.
That wasn't as unpleasant as I thought it would be. Kind of soothing, actually. I feel a little warmer now.
Whoops. Wrong one.
Figured.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that I actually found a couple of other mods to kind of make Serana a bit more stronger in combat. For one thing, have you ever... Let me bring her into the light a bit more. Although it looks like these lights are going out when we get close to them. Because you're probably looking at that going, wait a minute, she can summon gargoyles? Yeah, that's one of the changes the mod brings. But has it ever bothered you guys that... any of you that Serana was seemingly not able to also become a vampire lord just like her father? Now, I'm sure there are lore reasons behind that, but there were some that I'm sure felt like, oh, come on, why can't she also become a vampire lord, especially now that we're also able to as well? Well, the mod actually allows her to transform into a vampire lord during combat, so you guys may actually see that as we progress through here, though I may once again do the TCL off thing in order to... Don't mind me, I'm just enjoying my new, like, apocalypse spell that I'm using here. Now I'm wondering where Serana is. Serana, where'd you go? Alright, let's speed this up. I'll try not to break the game again like I did before. Note to self, when you see this, don't run over there. It breaks the game. We're just delving down, down, down. Just keep going down until you apparently can't go down anymore. Apparently. I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay. That's apparently not the way to go. This cave area over here, maybe? No, this is where we were before, wasn't it? I've been poisoned. Oh, that's amusing. Boy, oh boy, some of these big cave areas. Like, I think more favorably about this game and some of its dungeons and such, more so compared to other people, but a lot of these do eventually kind of, like, get you to a point where you're just like, you know what? I'm not really willing to do this right now. And you just want to skip it, because it can be kind of time-consuming. Because they're pretty big and expansive, and you're just like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this right now. I just want to kind of skip through it. Like, right now, I'm just like, where am I going? It just says survive Darkfall Passage. I'm like, okay. Where is the exit? Where's the shrine thing here? Ah, there it is. Now, imagine how much longer that probably would have taken me had I not been able to do this, you know, TCL, right? There we go.
Welcome, Initiate. This is the Way Shrine of Illumination. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Ariel and fill your vessel with his enlightenment?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Then behold Ariel's gift, my child. May it light your path as you seek tranquility within the inner sanctum.
Serana. Come back to me, my dear. Oh, this is funny. Cannot use while in combat. Oh, gosh. I'm stuck in combat with stuff. Now I have to go find these things and kill them just to get out of combat, just so we can actually progress. See, I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, where is my enemy here? Here? Like, look at the compass. So is it right above me? Alright, looks like one thing left. Looks like it's over here. Silly skeevers. Ho 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 ho! Well, there he is over there, so... Aha! Behold! A forgotten land within a land! I mean, there's a lot of forgotten stuff here. Forgotten people, forgotten land, in a place called the Forgotten Vale. Just saying. There you are, my dear. I was wondering what happened to you. Alright, this is where we get to the place I showed you earlier. Let's just go up this way instead. And it's just like, whoa.
This is incredible. It's like a whole other world. The boat has to be in this valley somewhere.
It eventually reached him. Okay. Moving right along. So yeah, this place is pretty big. Unfortunately, I can't really show it to you here on the map here, because it's just kind of on the far side of Skyrim's map. But look how spread out these are. Again, the idea is that the Forgotten Vale here is this gigantic forgotten place of the Snow Elves that has been basically lost to time. But yeah, summoning a gargoyle for herself is basically one of those things. I actually ended up choosing that instead of her being able to, like, summon undead, because I always thought that was kind of going to cause some issues.
Welcome, Initiate.
Yes, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Then behold Ariel's gift, my child. May it speed your journey to the inner sanctum.
I hope that mod I set up is working. I thought she looks kind of cool as a vampire lord, so I hope that you guys get to see it in action at some point. Okay, back to the Darkfall Passage, and now we go this way. May have to do some more TCL in this area just to get over some of these, like, mountains and such. Because, like I said, this area is pretty big. Bears! There we go.
No.
Take a look at her. Behold, Serana the Vampire Lord. And then she can just kind of change back. She's like, what? I think it's a cool little mod. I've heard there are some technical issues you can have if you try to combine this with some other mods, you know, like some compatibility issues, in which case you may need to also use some console commands to get it to work properly, or to fix some other issues, but, you know, it really does depend which ones you're going to be planning on using. Again, some of that stuff will usually be up front on the mod page.
You've reached... Are you prepared to honor the man?
Yes, 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 of course, blah, blah, blah.
Bless you, child. For you
As I recall, there are a couple of dragons in this area.
lasting wisdom.
Just don't exactly remember where. I think there might be one, like, up there? Okay, so now... we now make our way up there. Like, I think as we make our way up here is where we encounter a dragon. Dragons aren't nearly as much of a focus or feature in this DLC compared to, say, Dragonborn, obviously, but, you know, it's Skyrim. They had to throw in a couple of dragons here or there. I always hate these very steep little, you know, cliffs on these mountains where it's just like, oh, really? I can't just walk across that? Really? Hello? I see this, I'm like, ooh, what does this do? You don't have the required item. Yep, Paragon socket. It's like, ooh. That's where, when you're playing it for the first time, you then hop on to, like, Elder Scrolls Wiki and try to figure out what that means. What does it mean, Paragon socket? Paragon what? What is it? There's another one of the Way Shrines. I'm waiting for a Godzilla roar at some point, because I really do have memories, like, going through this, and all of a sudden I hear, like, a dragon is, like, just happens to be nearby. And it's like, whoa, okay. There's a dragon here now. No, haven't seen him yet.
You've arrived at... Are you prepared to honor... Then,
Yes, of course.
may the enrichment of Ariel strengthen your resolve as you undertake your journey to the inner sanctum.
Okay. And now there's one more way over there. And it's like, okay. Do I just go in a straight line this way? I remember one of the frustrating things about going through Skyrim, like the first time. And keep in mind, this was my first Elder Scrolls game, so it's not like I had experience dealing with this back in the days of Morrowind and Oblivion. And I know that things are done differently in those games when it comes to, like, you know, quests, because... Let me go ahead and talk about this for a moment, because right now what you're seeing is what I'm following, which of course is that quest marker over there. So of course, back in the day, Morrowind didn't have quest markers. That was a thing where in the dialogue you had to pay attention to what the characters say when you got the quest, and they're like, alright, so you go down this road, and then you go, and you make a left turn, and it's like getting directions of where to drive somewhere from somebody in real life. That's how Morrowind was. Oblivion tried to find kind of a nice compromise, where the dialogue would actually have the characters say where you're supposed to go and such, but there was still also a quest marker to try and help you out in case you were a little lost on where exactly you were supposed to go. So it was kind of a nice little, like, in-between. In this, they basically did away with having anything, like, telling you where to go and such. It was just, like, here, just go where the marker is. Now, I'm not opposed to that. Like, I do... Although I am in favor of people having the option to turn it on and off. I'm totally fine with that. The issue with Skyrim is that it doesn't then give you the compromise the other way, which is like if you want to go back to the old Morrowind ways of you don't have a quest marker, but at least you have something else telling you where to go. It doesn't really do that in Skyrim. It's just like you either have the quest marker or don't, but you can't have what it used to be like. And that's a shame because I'm someone who's very big on having, all the options and such be available for the player to decide how they want to play the game. I'm very much in favor of that. If someone wants to play the old Morrowind way, great, let them. But if someone wants to play the Skyrim way or the Oblivion way, great, let them. I'm not in favor of taking options away. I'm in favor of adding more options of how players want to play the game. I always have been felt that way. So, like, for another example I can think of is that for a long time, World of Warcraft didn't have like markers for quests. You had to try and okay, let me take that back. They did have markers, but not very helpful or informative markers. It was just kind of on the map here, but it didn't help, like, let you know, like, okay, do I need to go up or do I need to go down? Like, it doesn't really do that here either. Like, there's a marker here. As far as I know, this is saying just straight ahead. It's not telling me go up or go down. In WoW, they actually added it where now the marker will be up there, letting me know, oh, I have to go up there. And that was something that I found very nice and helpful, because there are many times I wish that was the case, because I can't tell you how many times I got confused on whether I need to go up or down in order to follow the actual quest marker. I would go completely down, and then it would turn out, nope, I should have gone completely up, you know, or vice versa. And I wish that was also the case here in this game. You know, again, that's my preference. That's not something that I'm saying should be the case for everybody. If you don't want that, that's, you know, and, you know, then great. I think there should be an option for you to have the option to turn that off if that's what you, if you want it like that, you know? What's the Burger King slogan? Have it your way? I wish that was the case for a lot of gamers when it came to the games they play. Have it your way. As in, you know, have the game your way in terms of playing. That's why I love, you know, when developers like Bethesda, say what you want about Bethesda, I love their approach to the modding when it comes to these games. And that's why the modding community has been so strong, large, and active, is because Bethesda's like, yep, here you go. Here's everything. Here's all the modding stuff. Have fun. Have at it. And I wish more games and companies would take that approach. There are some that probably do it a little better than others, and there are some that are apparently vehemently against it, which I still don't understand why. But, you know, some people have very, like, stubborn stances when it comes to some of these things, and I just kind of think, okay, I think you're being a little too stubborn on this, without allowing yourself to have the realization of, if we did this, it could mean this for us, which could be a good thing. I mean, just think about the longevity of these Elder Scrolls games. I'm not just talking Skyrim here. I'm also talking Oblivion and even Morrowind. That they have modding communities that are still active to this day. Okay. Sure. And of course, we gotta encounter some buggy stuff in this. It wouldn't be an Elder Scrolls game without us encountering some bugs here and there, would it? I mean, really, would it? Would it really? I can tell you this: if modding was not a thing for some of these games, they wouldn't be nearly as active or still be played nearly as much today as they, as they are. Like, if modding was not a thing for Elder Scrolls games, I guarantee you that people would have given up on these games years ago. But because it's so mod-friendly, people to this day are still making mods, not just for Skyrim, but for Oblivion and Morrowind. And that's the part that blows me away, is that, like, especially the Morrowind part. That's a game that came out, like, how many years ago? And not just, like, Morrowind. There are other games from that era, that long ago, that are still getting mods made for it. And I think that's great. It shows that they have a consumer base that is very passionate and loves their games very much, and want to see it keep getting stuff added to it. And to me, that's only a benefit. Silly skeever.
That'll teach you.
Oh. There we go. Even if I don't know where they are, at least Serana and the Gargoyle do.
Done and done.
So we gotta go up there. Here's the frustrating part. Looking at this and trying to figure out, okay, where the heck do I go to get up there? And this is when I just throw my hands up and go, you know what? I'm just gonna fly up there. Whee! Because I am just not in the mood and just don't really have the time. Because this is honestly one of the more boring portions, like I said, where you have to apparently go through a cave over here and make our way up here. Hey, look at that. We made our way to the top, and oh, it's the last way shrine. How wonderful.
You found the Way Shrine of Radiance, Initiate. Are you prepared?
Yes,
to
yes,
honor
yes.
them? May the blessings of Ariel protect you as you climb the road to the inner sanctum and final enlightenment.
And now we can gain entry. Now I have to be like, okay, Serana, where are you? Alright. She'll eventually catch up. Blood is the key. Oh, sorry. There you are. Oh gosh. Feel like we're in the Palace of the White Witch. Well, that may be what we're going through here. When we come back, stay tuned.